Hello everyone, my name is Saraswathi. They also call me Vani. I'm a writer, director, filmmaker, and I'm absolutely happy and thrilled to be sharing my experience about creativity. I believe in abundance. I believe that there is so much for everything, for everyone. And I would love to talk to you about my process of how I pitch. I'll be sharing with you a very basic template on pitching, and I'll go through the stages of what I believe is important. This is just a template, and it'll be a great process to share my experience and my journey as a filmmaker. Before becoming a filmmaker, I ran a studio called Rhythm and Hues in India, Malaysia, and Taiwan. I moved to DreamWorks to be part of their creative management team and overlooked and managed the storyboard and the viz dev artists. About 8 years ago, I decided to set up my own little boutique studio called Dancing Atoms, and my goal and purpose is to bring Indian stories to the world. I look forward to sharing my experiences with you. Let's jump to the slideshow. See you all in a bit. Hello everyone, this is a presentation about creativity abundance with me, with Vani. A little bit about Dancing Atoms. Dancing Atoms is a boutique studio. It's virtual and it's a home for creators. And I love telling stories and creating and crafting projects. You can read more about me on my IMDb or on my LinkedIn profile. I love daydreaming and I love making films and directing projects. So let's jump into the pre-pitch. All of us have ideas, and all of us, I believe, are storytellers. And I believe in the concept of how to focus on the idea, how to catch an idea, and how once we have an idea, how to kind of nourish it and work with it and let it reveal itself slowly. So when I write my ideas, I always put them on a piece of paper or on my iPad. Sometimes I just jot them down wherever I get my concepts and ideas. And as I'm developing a pitch in the past many years, I've learned from the experts, and I've learned mostly from the audiences that I've pitched to on how to make it better, how to make your idea and polish it. So when we talk about why this idea, it's all about, does it have an emotional commitment to it? Does it move something personally for me? Am I willing to take that time? And do I have the patience to work on that idea? And most of the times my answer is yes. And I make a note of it, I record it, and I love evolving with my idea. The basic questions that I ask myself are, what am I doing with this idea? Why do I care about this idea, and where do I want to pitch it to, and how will I pitch it to, and when will I be ready? So when will I be ready is a process. It's an evolution, as I like to call it, and I continue to nourish my concept. And what is so unique about this idea is something that I ask myself. As I take an idea, I love doing research, and I think research is the backbone for finding all those puzzles. It's like a puzzle. It's like you're trying to tell a story, but it's a puzzle between a puzzle, and you bring everything together and you get the idea across. And in that process, as we are doing it, it's extremely important to do research, because the more unique my experience is, the more authentic it feels. So I love developing original ideas, and it's extremely important that we take care of the tiny details of the story. And then pitching the idea. So as I put in a lot of research and background search and talking to a lot of people, and then as I get into the pitch, and crafting the pitch is an evolution again. And I believe that this particular concept, what I'm going to share with you, is just a layout or a presentation or a template on how we can collect the data and how we can connect with talent and collaborators. Creating an idea and then having to get the team together is very, very key to getting it around. So I believe in getting a 2-minute or an elevator pitch outside. So if I was to meet somebody, how can I get this concept across to someone in the shortest amount of a time and get a response? It's all about response. Storytelling is all about finding that response and finding that audience who understands where we are going with that basic concept and how we are able to tell a story around it. As I focus on a 2-minute or a 3-minute elevator pitch, I also create a very mini pitch deck for myself with a poster basically that reveals what the film is about, or the short film, the preschool show, or a feature film, whatever, or a TV show or a game, whatever that I'm doing. I will try and get a layout in my mind, and I'll doodle out a very simple concept of what that poster design looks like that expresses what the concept is. A simple project title about what that project is about, what the age group is, who are the people that I'm working with, maybe that all comes in the first poster layout and the project title. If I'm inspired by something, then I mention that is inspired by a woman who went into a coma in the slums of Mumbai, and maybe that's where that story kind of began. Or it could be about a boy that is lost in the largest gathering and how he's going to find his family. So just very simple things about what I'm observing, what I'm feeling, or what I'm inspired by. And this inspired by is very, very important, because as we pitch our concepts to people, the project is one part of the equation, why somebody will greenlight it, but the other part of it is their connection with me, their connection with you when you pitch, is that they want to know you. They want to say, oh my God, this is such a story. This is such a legacy story, or this is such a very important story because it comes from me. It originates from me. And that's why that inspired by is a very important section. What's authentic? Again, it's very similar to what I mentioned, the importance of it and the authenticity of it, where it happens, when it happens, how it happens, to who it happens, and to bring in that honest, authentic voice of the character in the project is what that authenticity, the tone of your film, all of that brings the authenticity of your concept. The emotion, is it an emotional, is it comedy, is it dark humor, is it horror, is it action, is it drama, whatever that is, what is the overriding emotion of your concept? We all know that a log line is the simplest way to get your project across. So something must happen to our character, and because that happens, the character has a choice, and with that choice, he or she must do something before something happens. And that's basically what a log line is, to put it across. And kind of having like a structure of the beginning, the middle, and the end kind of gets the audience or the person that you're pitching to the concept of your idea. Where is it happening? Is it happening in Frankfurt? Is it happening in India? Is it happening in Los Angeles? Is it happening in the same time period? Is it happening in the future, in the past? in a world that you've never seen. So the world building is very, very important so that people believe what you're telling them, and the suspension of disbelief kind of works out. um, Writing characters is a very beautiful thing for me, and it's one of the hardest things, because to realize what their fears are, to know what the characters' secrets are, to know what their dreams are, their wants and needs, but really getting into the DNA of that character and how they would behave in a particular way. What kind of choices will they make? Will they look away from a problem, or will they regret? Will they feel guilty if they did something? Will they not care about what is happening around them? What is that character? And getting into that character is extremely important, especially in today's days and world, that everything is constantly evolving. Everybody is making such wonderful craft, and it takes time to build character. It takes time and energy to create that, and believe that honestly that's the character's fear. And writing the secrets of the character is extremely important as well. So the character arc is, what was the character before he or she had to make a choice, and as the character is making those choices and facing the consequences that are about to happen, what is the evolution of the character, is basically the arc. One other thing that I absolutely love doing is I visualize my story in 30 seconds. I love to write a trailer. I love to write a script around a teaser or a trailer and say, what would that trailer look like? What would that hook look like? And just visually putting everything together, and then writing down just the key points of what that teaser looks like helps a lot in getting the point across as well. Storyboarding is one of my favorite things, because I can visually see my film even before it's crafted and created. And it's a great medium to share with everybody else what is it that you are conveying. What is the connection that you're seeking? And so the pre-visualization helps us with the tone, with the color, with a lot of simple things. Especially if you're doing an animated film or an animated short, sound and voice is such an important thing to set the timing, to set the pace, to set the visualization. All of that becomes very important. So I do a scratch sound, or I'll do a sound effects to just get the feel of the project and invest a lot of time in it, because half the film is sound and music. As I mentioned earlier, everything starts with the inciting incident. It's nothing but the inciting incident. What happens to this normal character in his normal life, and how that one little incident is going to change the entire journey of that character and the project. Color script. Color is, I would say, such a visual thing to make us feel emotionally intrigued. It takes us into layers of our own understanding of how we are able to design something and convey an emotion through color, convey anger through color, convey passion through color, convey hope through color. So these are all very important things in the color script that I invest a lot of time in as well. Music, as I mentioned earlier, is 50% of your film, because it leads you. Music leads the visual. It's like a dance. And so spend as much time as you can in music, in improvising, writing maybe if you have to, or collaborating with people to get that emotional beats. When I'm pitching, I sometimes like to have familiar films, just so the buyer or the person that I want to collaborate with gets an idea that, oh, it seems like that film. It's like Ponyo, or it's like The Flying Castle. and then everybody gets it. Oh, I get it. I know what you're talking about, or I get the essence of what you're talking about. And it's always familiar, but it's not the exact same thing. We're just saying it's familiar like that. Least but not least, just mentioning who you are, what you've achieved, what you plan to achieve, and then mention of your teams always helps. Please make sure that everything that you pitch to people is copyrighted. Each country has its own copyright rules and laws. I'm based in Los Angeles, so I use the Writers Guild Association to copyright my material. It's not expensive at all. I think it's some $20 so please always make sure you have a copyright. And in the end, mention what you're looking for, whether you're looking for a producer, an animator, you're looking for crowdfunding, you're looking for an illustrator, you're looking for a writer, you're looking for a musician. Whatever you're looking for, just putting it out there helps, because when we are pitching, we might be pitching to somebody who knows a really good writer, and they could say, yeah, why don't you talk to that writer, he'll be really good on this project. Or why don't you talk to this musician, and this musician would love to collaborate with you. Leave your contact information, your website or your social media, or simply your email. A few other things that I'd like us to consider is just knowing your audience. 90% of the time, if we don't know who our audience is, we are always pitching to the wrong people. We're wasting our own time, and we are wasting the other person's time. So I always go back to my research and say, oh, who is this writer that I would like on my show? And I'll research. I'll go to IMDb, or I'll go to the internet and find the writer, find the show that I like, and say, okay, this is the writer that I want to pitch my project to. And this is the audience. So it's for preschool, it's for children, it's for young adults, it's for adults. It's a very family film, like a Disney film. Whatever that is, I will do my research, and I'll know who I am pitching to and what my audience is. I believe that attending conference and film festivals is a good chance of meeting some like-minded people that can come on board as your advisors. They can come on board as your executive producers. I met my producer at a conference, and we absolutely clicked. And it took us many years to say, yes, let's work on a project. But it's nice that you see familiar faces and you connect with your producers. And sometimes it's just your best friend, that you've known for many years, and they run a studio. And then you're like, hey, do you want to help me pitch my project? Would you like to collaborate? And that happens. Make sure that you are mentally and emotionally prepared, because development takes a lot of time. Development is a process. It's not something that you can push up or make it happen immediately. It just takes a lot of moving pieces to come together. It takes the right partner, it takes the right producer, it takes the right set of people to come together. And then when you put the pitch deck together and you polish it, you do a test run and get feedback and input, and it's polishing, writing and rewriting, and getting the message across in the shortest, simplest way. And being committed, being persistent is one of the most important things about developing your project. So in that process, I have learned that being a part of a community, whether it's Women in Animation that I'm part of, or ASIFA India where I'm part of, when I'm part of a community, it kind of helps me understand and value my process, and also give back to the community. Like FMX, for example, it's such a community building process, because we are constantly sharing our experiences and information on how we are doing things, and mentally being healthy is very important, because it takes time. And don't give up, because it just takes time. And make sure that you're taking really, really good care of your health, because in the long run, that's what matters the most. Put yourself out there, pitch to as many people as you can, because you never know where the connection happens. And the more you pitch, the more the project becomes your second nature. You get out of that awkward feeling about pitching your project. Attach a legal advisor to your project. If you ever need somebody, you know that you have a legal advisor that you can reach out to. And know where to pitch your idea, whether you want to pitch directly to a OTT platform or you want to go to the producers that work at the OTT platform, have their buy-in, have people's buy-in, because they are the ones that are going to be promoting your project within the studio, within the broadcasting space, to say, I think that's a great project, and that helps with us meeting better prospects. This is one last thing that I'd like to end with is don't wait for the opportunity. Create one yourself. A lot of times I've realized that I've worried so much about what's going to happen and what could go wrong. Instead, I would say that put all the attention on creating an opportunity for yourself and people around you, and that helps in focusing the creative energy in rewriting your projects. That's about it. Thank you so much. It was great sharing my experience with all of you. I'm sorry this is not going to be done in person and it's an online session, but I'm wishing you all lots of abundance in your creative journey. And namaste. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day and have a wonderful FMX. Thank you. Bye-bye.